and it's happened on a few occasions up and down the country, you will have the police, two policemen in a car, call at your door and interview over a hate crime. Now, I don't know if many of you know that it's actually gone this far, but I just wondered, has anybody got any strong views on this? I don't know. Would you say this is a man or a woman, or would you not want to answer? To you? No? No? Would anybody feel like just giving me their opinion on whether this person here is a man or a woman? I mean, is this a difficult statement? We're in Hyde Park. Something that's been running for, I don't know, how many years has this place been going?
More than 150 years.
More than 150 years. Now, the level of confusion we have is, I suspect most people here won't have the courage of their conviction and make a definitive statement on whether this is a man or a woman. So, I don't know, I'll just open it again. Again, no one's going to come down on it. I'm interested to know if anyone here would recognise this person as a woman. Or maybe people are just shy to put their hands up. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah.
Just want someone. I value compassion.
Don't we all? We all want to be liked as well.
Yeah, and recognition as well.
Yeah.
And I, like you, I think I value honesty as well.
Right.
So, do you want to maybe ask her what she thinks?
That's an interesting
statement.
Do
you want to find out from her what she thinks? Or is it him or her, depending
No, because immediately you've answered my question as to where you stand. You're acknowledging this person to be a female, yes? Because you did make the statement her, so if I don't know, I'm not trying to put you in a corner, but you immediately. I mean, have you read whether this is a female or a man? Yet, hang on, not yet, because you said that this was a woman. You didn't know that this person makes a claim.
I read when it said this trans woman kept her beard.
Okay. But you would say that this is a female. If this person said they're a female, you'd say they're a female.
I don't know.
This is where the confusion is. See, I mean, you're an intelligent person, you've been here a long time, and I know that you would be very sympathetic, perhaps, because, I mean, you're an atheist, so unlike Muslims, Christians, and Jews, and people of fixed belief, we don't have that level of confusion when it comes to giving an immediate response. But as an atheist, and an atheist is probably a humanist and a very nice person, when you were asked the question, you immediately gave, let's say, I'll say the required response, the correct response as far as the climate that we have here.
I sense something a bit of disgust from that.
Well, no, absolutely not. I think anybody can claim to be anything they want, and we live in a pluralistic, liberal society, and you can't run after them with a net, catch them, put them in chains, and put them in a dungeon. The problem comes when other people are required to not just accept, but to acknowledge something that is untrue as true. And this is where there's an ethical dilemma, and I think we've already passed that stage. I'm not able to see. You can say that this is a woman. I would not be able to say if this person was out there. If I you're up to speed on the misgendering, the laws and the rest. Are you aware that if I misgendered this person, that is actually a hate crime that I could be investigated? Well, it is. Now, what do you think of that? What do you think? Could you
well, you mentioned that it's legal to misgender someone.
Yes. No, not legal. A hate crime.
A hate crime. I'm a bit confused. I need a bit more clarity. Do you want to explain that to me?
Okay, I'll give you an example. There was a spat between a lesbian feminist and a transgender woman. I say it's a man who claims to be a woman, it's a transgender woman. And this lesbian feminist, on purpose, they call it dead name, communicated with this transgender woman in the previous name that they held, which was a man name, a masculine. He was born. He was Christian, whatever. His gender. So what happened was, a police car turned up, two policemen got out, and they interviewed this person, and they recorded that incident as a hate crime. Now, you probably have read 1984.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and George Orwell, who actually spoke here, he actually made this, I think it was a very prophetic statement. He said sometime in the future, the truth will be a criminal act. To tell the truth will be a criminal act. Now, if that woman identified somebody whose DNA, their genitalia, everything, their birth certificate is male, biological reality as male, but because they did, they were getting charged with a hate crime. We've now crossed over the line where And I think it was inevitable. Once you take out, whether you agree with God or you don't agree with God, when you take away an absolute polarity, then it's subjective. So you might have another person very similar to you who would disagree with you, and a whole host of other people. You wouldn't be able to identify and pin why you believe that. So I don't know. I think people. Again, could anybody help me out here? I'm not going to look at anyone and ask them directly, but this person here claims to be female. This person has had no surgery, no hormone therapy, none of the things that lots of people who make the full transition. But this person is saying that he's as female as this lady, as this lady, as this lady, as this lady. Now, that on its own, we can say, well, what's it to do with me? But there's more of my female DNA in this world than male, because I've got 5 daughters. So I've got a stake in this. So if my daughter, who is already young, yeah, I don't know, my daughter is about 8 or 9, if she said to me, I'm going to go over to the ladies' toilets and just show you this, bear with me here, chaps, and this transgender woman went into the toilets. Now, is this a woman as well? This person claims to be a woman, so would you say her to this person? And if not, why not? You don't feel like saying that.
Again, you answered this question, I'm just getting a bit like...
Yeah.
You know what? I need to speak. Speak? Do you want to take turns on the ladder?
And have a kind of debate? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Can I just finish with this? Because I just half dreamed, but no, I appreciate what you're saying. So here we have a twice convicted rapist who was in a British prison, convicted of 2 rapes. He put a wig and lipstick on. He transitioned and they put him in a female prison where he sexually assaulted 2 more women. Now, this is where the rubber hits the road, where we as a society need to get to grips with female safety, female safe spaces, even the integrity of being female, biological female itself, because God forbid ever biological females will be a substandard female person. It will be the transgender ones that will be. But would anyone here, just before my friend gets up, would anyone say this is a woman? If this person said they were a woman, who feels? You don't need to be courageous. It's Hyde Park. I don't know. Could I ask you? Would you acknowledge this person as female if they asked you?
You seem to be conflating sex and gender at the same time quite a lot. What they identify as is up to them. I don't really see how, I don't really care. And you're also taking an instance like that, which is extremely unique, if true, I don't know, but you're applying it to every person that might be gender fluid or whatever it is.
Maybe, when you say conflate, maybe you conflate my argument too much. I'm trying to draw attention primarily to, because I don't think so far I've come out and said that this is wrong, this is bad, this is a bad person or anything like that. Would never cross that line. But what we're wrestling with at the moment is, if anybody claims to be something, should we be required by law to acknowledge that, even if we don't actually accept it ourselves? Because this is where we're treading in. So this person, if you were the prison governor, was taken up to you and you had his records there, you know, I don't want to put you on the spot, you realise this was a twice convicted rapist, then he put this wig on, would you let him into a women's prison?
What is that crime got to do with the sexuality bit? I don't get that.
Because that's the best way to say it, the warden of the prison was put into a position where they had to make a decision. They obviously had the records of this person, and it's so obvious that this person is a danger and should not be amongst women, especially in isolated areas. But they bypass that fail-safe, which should be so obvious to all of us, and for politically correct motives, I suspect, put this dangerous criminal in with females, where this occurred. Now, you say this is an isolated case. We haven't been down this road for very long. I could give you the stats on, I don't know how to express it. If I throw one stat at you, 60% of transgender women still are attracted to women. So that 60% of them are lesbians. So any transgender woman who goes to prison, 60% of them actually lust after other women anyway. Now, given the fact that men let's say, they're hardwired, you know, in certain respects. If these people find their way into a female prison, it's like a chicken in the, you know, like a fox in the chicken hut. I mean, for me, it's obvious. Do you know what I mean? If 60% of them are lesbians, so they're lesbians born in the wrong bodies? I don't understand. But anyway, back to your serious question. Go on, what did you say? I'm conflating.
You had the question. I was just saying that you're taking this.
Yeah.
I don't understand what your argument is because you're now. Are you arguing about the law in terms of prison sentencing and how to sentence people, or are you on about identification?
Okay, maybe I moved too quick on that. Initially, my question was that should we be required, under pain of law, to acknowledge whatever this person says they are, and when we refer to this person, to not move from whatever they say that they are. Compelled speech. Should we be in a libertarian, free society? Should we not be able to determine what pronouns we use? You know, with I don't know if you've heard of Jordan Peterson. Basically, in lots of universities, speech, what do they call it? Compelled speech is being enforced. And if you were a lecturer, and by just a slip of the tongue actually dead-named, misgendered, we're living in a world where people are treading on eggshells for fear of not using one of 50, 60 different kind of terms that people ask you to call them. So that's really what I'm trying to get at, because no one else is talking about it. Have you heard of anyone talk about this?
I'm not sure it's an issue.